Welcome to the Real Retirees of New Jersey, powered by Liberty Financial Group and Artemis Wealth Advisors. Randy and Peggy Fisher want to help you retire once and retire right. Get more information at therealretireesofnewjersey.com. They never throw the first punch, but they're always a knockout.
Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for downloading. But most importantly, thanks for listening. This is the Real Retirees of New Jersey podcast with Peggy and Randy Fisher. It's all powered by Liberty Financial Group and Artemis Wealth Advisors. You can get more when you visit therealretireesofnewjersey.com. You can find that and all the information here in the show notes. My name is Mark Owens. Now, let's get to the show. Peggy Fisher, Randy Fisher, how y'all doing this weekend?
We're doing great, Mark. How are you?
I've got no complaints. Randy, how are things going in the household? How's the wife? Is she keeping you in line?
Yeah, absolutely. We still, 17-year-old driving for at least 1 week. No accidents, free, and he's driving okay.
Hold on, let me find some wood to knock on real quick.
Yes, please.
Knock on the wood.
I'm knocking it on it too. And I'm still spraying my holy water. That's what I'm doing, baby.
You can meet Randy, Peggy Fisher, the entire team when you visit therealretireesofnewjersey.com. And y'all have a fascinating event coming up. It's all about the election and your finances. Peggy, tell me some more about it.
Oh, we're so excited. We got an upcoming workshop, and that will be on October 15th and 17th at the Clinton House in Clinton. And then we've got on October 22nd, we're going to be at Spain 92 in Raritan. And this election topic is Trump versus Harris. And you give us a call at 908-844-8337. And you mention you're a radio caller, and we'll put you on our priority list and get you right in. We can't wait.
It's not a debate. You're not debating Trump and Kamala.
No, we are not debating them in any way, shape, or form. What we are just laying out is what is Trump's plan and what is Harris's plan, and how will this affect your money and your retirement.
And please don't bring your pom-poms, because we're not going to be talking about social events or anything like that. We're going to be literally just laying the facts on the table about what their platforms, they say their platform is. Not what we say, they say.
We're just going to give you the information, and then we're going to give you information about us and how we can help you,
And how the platform will literally affect you.
Right.
If either one of them get elected, how is that going to affect your money?
Correct.
So you're asking people to also come in with an open mind.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. So last week we talked about anchoring bias, right?
Right.
So you asked me to give you a definition per week.
Yes, sir.
This week I'm going to give you tendency bias, because that actually fits perfectly with, who you're rooting for. And what tendency bias basically is, you're recalling information in a way that suits your preferences, and you're framing your decisions around that. So if you just think that anything that your candidate is doing is just hunky-dory, and you're going to base your investment decisions off of that, I think you need your head examined. And then also quite the opposite. If you are making your investment decisions against the opposing candidate, you also need to have your head examined, because what you're doing is you're literally boxing yourself into a corner based off of a preconceived notion that's not even true. Right? That's not investment decisions. That's the same as basically having hope for an investment strategy. You need to have a non-emotional, methodical, mathematical approach to your investing style. And we basically call that an investment strategy. That's something that we've been hanging our hat on for almost 30 years. And there's things that you can literally do every single solitary week, year, month, quarter in order to make those things happen and put yourself in a better situation to have success.
So I love it. I'm getting an education in terms every week here on the Real Retirees of New Jersey. Right? No pressure, though, because, you've set it up. So each week we got to get a new one. Can you do that?
I will continue to come up with something.
Yes. Oh, he definitely will.
Always getting an education with Randy and Peggy Fisher. And Peggy, tell me one more time the dates and the location of this seminar.
Okay, we would love to have you guys come on out on October 15th and 17th. We're going to be at the Clinton House. And that's going to be in Clinton, New Jersey. And then on October 22nd, we're going to be at Spain 92 in Raritan. And if you just mention you're a radio caller, we will make sure we put you on that priority list. You just give us a call at 908-844-8337. And we'd love to have you come listen to our Trump versus Harris election workshop.
And it's not lost on me the irony that it's happening at the Clinton House.
Yeah, isn't that great? Yeah.
We didn't even do that on purpose.
Yeah, I know. It's funny how that worked.
908-844-8337 or therealretireesofnewjersey.com for more information about that great event. Are you hearing from the families that you serve between the hurricane, between the dock strikes, and we're still feeling inflation? The numbers may be down, but are you still hearing from people saying, I just can't catch a break?
Is inflation really down? That's the thing people really don't understand.
Right.
Inflation's sticky and it's here. It's not going away. The only way inflation's going away is if we have deflationary period. We're not in a deflationary period. So let me give you an understanding of how this works, ladies and gentlemen. Let's just say that inflation rose from zero, because we were literally at a 0% inflation rate coming into the Biden administration or so, or just shortly thereafter. It spiked up to about 9, 10, 11%. Let's just say 9% just for the heck of it. So if the price of goods rose by 9% in that period, where they talk about the inflation rate moving forward each and every month, it's how much more did that good or service increase in price. So if inflation was negative, it would mean that the price of goods actually went from, let's say, a 9% increase down to an 8% increase, right? It's not happening that way. So when you compound continually over and over and over and over again, when you really take into consideration what did inflation cost us over the past 3 years or 2 years, some of it is in the terms of 20, 22, 23% of what it was when we first started. And again, it's not going down. How's that going to affect your retirement moving forward? How is that going to affect your bottom line and your savings? It means that you're going to need to spend more money in order to buy the same thing in which you purchased 2 years ago.
Right.
Right. And I don't care if Trump gets in office. I don't care if Kamala Harris gets in office. The inflation that we're already living in, it's still going to be sticky. What they're going to propose if either one of them get elected, and again, come to our workshop on the 15th, 17th, and 22nd to figure this one out. How is that eventually going to affect you moving forward? Is that from, I'll give you one other thing that can actually affect us is taxes, right?
Yeah.
So if the tax rates are actually going to sunset, the Trump tax plan literally is supposed to run out in 2025.
That's right.
If Kamala Harris gets elected and she doesn't actually renew those tax benefits, what will essentially happen and how will that happen? We're going to specifically break it down because we have the data, and it's actually mind-boggling. Where if Trump actually gets in office, what is going to happen? And again, these are all speculative items, but we're taking their words and how is it going to affect us? Gas prices, energy prices, food prices, how does that all bite into everything in which we're actually spending today and spending tomorrow? Those are things we're going to be talking about.
What can we be doing for those looking to in retirement, maybe to downsize? Maybe they want to get closer to the grandkids. Maybe they are worried now. Am I going to have enough money in retirement? Still the number one fear for retirees. What are you doing to help calm some of those fears?
Well, I'll tell you right off the bat what we do is don't fall prey to the emotional whipsaw of the media. That is the first thing. We have clients who come in here. Oh my God, did you hear so-and-so said, the sky's falling. That's it. It's over. The sky's falling. We have so many clients who come in like that.
Yeah.
But what we're saying is do not fall prey to that. I mean, every day is something different, but you can't think that the sky is falling. We will help you with that. Trust and believe the sky is not falling.
The sky is not falling. There's an opportunity no matter what happens. And ladies and gentlemen, if you do decide that you'd like to sit down and meet with us, we're going to go over some ridiculous number of statistics. But in the years in which that were 2000, 2001, 2002, 2007, 2009, 2015, 2020, 2022, these are negative years in the market. We actually had clients that did really well.
Yes.
On top of that, we had clients that literally protected their life savings and their nest eggs. Because if you literally break down the plan adequately and smart, non-emotional, mathematical, and I missed one. Methodical, mathematical, and non-emotional.
Yes, Randy, you got it.
I was getting way ahead of myself too quickly there.
Yes.
But if you break it down to those degrees and you literally take advantage of all the specific financial tools and solutions that are available to the best of your ability, you're going to use them in the right way. And using them in the right way creates trend and success.
Right.
And that's really what it comes down to. People want to make sure that they're not taking too much risk, right? So I tell people a lot, if you really like a coffee, get a giant coffee can, drink all the coffee, take all your money, put it in a coffee can.
Stick it in there. He tells them that all the time.
That's one way to actually preserve your assets. But again, that's also called going broke safely, right?
Right.
The last time interest rates went down, and correct me if I'm wrong, but interest rates did just start recently going down again. So think about this. Let's say if I'm retired and I happen to have $1 million and I'm getting a 5% interest rate at the banks, and I have it in a whole bunch of different banks, but I'm getting 5%. 5% of $1 million is 50 grand. Let's say that it went down 1% when I needed to renew my CDs and I was collecting income off of those. That essentially means that I got a 20% reduction in the income in which I was going to be receiving. So now instead of getting $50,000 a year, I'm only getting $40,000 a year because now it's 4% on the million. That's a 20% loss in my book, and it's a 20% loss to cash flow. How many people lose 20% in the market? So when you think about that, most people don't lose 20% in the market instantaneously. And how about this? That money that I just spoke of, it was 100% ironclad guaranteed. The only difference is a Federal Reserve or a bank reduced the interest rate on the guaranteed interest in which you were receiving. So now in the instance of you, instead of getting 5%, now you're getting 4%. You just decreased your overall income by 20%. So ladies and gentlemen, it's just an example. And again, this is not something that everybody takes into consideration. Not everybody's got $1 million sitting in CDs. I just gave you an example so you can understand how things are working here. You need to take a number of different solutions in your plan and utilize them to the best of your ability. We always talk about a spoon and a fork. You know, if I really want to be hungry, I want to try to eat a bowl of soup with a fork. It doesn't mean that the fork's a bad instrument, right? It's just it's not the most adequate, most efficient tool to do the job.
Right. You want the best tool for the best job. That's correct.
That's exactly it. And that's what we utilize within those portfolios.
Absolutely.
It is never too early to start thinking about that end of the year checklist. Yeah. So tell me some of the things that you're doing for the families you serve.
Well, what we do is we do call our clients, and what we like to do is, maybe have them come in or do a phone call, and we like to just talk about that little like playing catch up at the end of the year, but do it now in October, like you say. And we go over a few things with them, like are they planning for the RMDs? Do we have everything lined up and ready to go for that? We also talk about playing catch up with any contributions that could allow you to save more in tax accounts. We also like to talk about considering any account conversions, or we talk about like making some charitable donations that could help you, before the end of the year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we definitely want to do some tax planning. There's a difference between tax planning and filing your tax returns, right? So during the course of the year, and it literally starts on January 1st and it works throughout the entire year, you can literally affect your taxation by taking strategies throughout the entire 365 days. What you don't want to do is think that you're going to affect your tax planning come April 15th or February 10th or wherever you're filing your tax return. That's a historical event. That's already passed. You can't do much then, besides basically maybe making a contribution to an IRA or so. That's it.
Right.
But there are many other things in which you can actually do in order to affect your taxation throughout the year before December 31st. One of them is tax harvesting. Mm-hmm. So, getting together and talking about tax harvesting. Again, you want to learn more about tax harvesting, give us a call. You can get in touch with us, bring in your portfolio. First thing we're going to do is an x-ray of that portfolio. We're going to figure out if there's a whole lot of bad things happening. What I'm going to say is this. Most people don't really know what's under the hood.
Yeah.
If I opened up my hood in my car these days, I don't even know where the oil is. I'm lucky I can put fluid in there to make sure I can wash my windows, right? It's the same thing with the portfolio for many people. They open up their portfolio and all they want to know is two things. One, did they make any money? And number two, how much did they make?
Right.
Right? And number one, really, when it really comes down to that.
Absolutely.
They don't necessarily want to know how it happened, why it happened, what they have.
They just want to know what happened.
Right?
Yeah, that's right.
And in a month or a quarter or a period of time in which they open that statement and it's negative or it's red, that's not a happy period of time. When those things happen, that's when our phone really rings off the hook. We get more clients when the markets are turbulent, volatile, or negative, because people then start to realize, hey, I should have been paying attention to this, or I have a question about this. And we get more referrals from our clients' friends and families because they say, you know what? You need to go talk to these guys. You need to go talk to these people. Go sit down with Peggy. Go sit down with Randy. They'll explain this thing. And every 3 months, I get a call. We do a review. I get a report card. So there's no surprises in people's portfolios that actually meet with us or become our clients, because every 90 days, we're updating them on a portfolio or a report card. Here's a couple things that we take into consideration. Number one, something called portfolio overlap. How many items within your portfolio are duplicative? So we get together with people and they say, oh, I'm diversified.
Nope.
They're not diversified, right?
Right.
They may be diversified and they may have 5, 6, 7 different mutual funds. When we look at the mutual funds and we look inside, the top 10 holdings of the 5, 6, 7, 10 mutual funds that they have are all the same. So you have Apple, Microsoft, over and over and over again.
Very diversified.
Right,
It's not
exactly.
diversified.
But they think they are.
They think they are because they have multiple funds and they think that's the diversification. But when you look under the hood, you figure out that they're all investing in the same thing. What does that do? It increases the risk associated with that portfolio, because if things are going up, that's great. It's all hunky dory. But when things are extremely volatile and you have all your eggs in one basket and that boat's starting to sink, you're going down with the ship.
That's right.
Right?
Right.
So that's the first thing, is portfolio overlap. And we look through company, industry, sector. We look at all of those to see where the overlaps can particularly take place. We're in an election year. Which of those particular companies, industries, and sectors are going to benefit which person or which candidate gets elected?
Right.
Which one of those sectors are going to take off? Which ones are going to falter likely, right? So those are things to take into consideration looking forward, and that's called trend analysis. Next one is correlation. Correlation is price movement, right? So we don't want something that's highly correlated. What that means is that it's matching the direction of what something else is doing. We want non-relationships. It doesn't mean that when one thing's going up, we want something else to go down. What we want is we want no relationship or limited relationships within those particular type of portfolio. If there's a stock, just because it's going up, we don't want to make sure that another one is going up or going down. We want to have them totally non-correlated, non-related. There are a lot of portfolios, ladies and gentlemen, that are literally just like magnets. When the portfolio is going up, everything's going up. But unfortunately, when the portfolio is going down, it's falling out of the sky like an anvil. You do not want that in your portfolio, especially when we're coming up on particularly turbulent times, because when it goes down, it takes longer to recuperate.
That's right.
How about mortality risk on your income?
Yeah.
How about that?
Yeah.
So, I mean, one of the things we talk about a lot with our clients, everybody that walks through the door that's literally collecting income from Social Security.
Yes.
This is something that we talk about all the time. You are penalized for dying.
Yeah.
People don't realize that, right? Mm-hmm. So when they look at you like you have 4 heads, and you're like, what are you talking about? I'm penalized for dying. Well, no kidding. My spouse is not here. That's obviously a penalty. The penalty is you're going to lose income, because if I have 2 people collecting Social Security and one person passes away, one of those incomes is disappearing. It's going to be the lower of them, but the lower benefit that they were receiving from the federal government and Social Security benefits, it ceases. It stops. You get a $250 check and a bereavement letter. That's what you get. What are you going to do, and what is your plan in order to recuperate that loss of income? I guarantee you this. Most people think, well, there's going to be one less person, I'm going to spend less. No, you're not. Not necessarily. No way. In fact, with the cost of inflation and everything else, most people are just getting by these days.
That's true.
Right.
What is your income replacement plan, ladies and gentlemen? So when someone passes away, how are you filling the gap? Where are you filling the gap from? Tax-free money? Taxable money? How is that going to affect you? All those things are interrelated within your financial plan. We had somebody that got together with us, and we actually found out, or actually, unfortunately, she found out that when they selected the benefit from the pension, that the husband selected a single life pension option, which means that they were getting a great payout.
But guess what?
When he passes away,
bye-bye.
Her pension stops.
Right.
You know what they just got? A diagnosis.
Oh, no.
Unfortunately, he is terminal. Mm-hmm. Now what they're doing is they're running around trying to figure out how they're going to fill the gaps. Now, here's the story. Peggy just mentioned it before about life insurance. He's uninsurable now.
Correct.
So where he should have or would have done proper planning by taking the single life pension option, getting the maximum payout, they should have supplemented that with a life insurance policy throughout the period of time in which they were collecting some of that pension. For God forbid, when he passes away, a lump sum comes to his wife that she can then take, reinvest it, and create the income in which she was going to lose.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So not only, think about this, she's not only going to lose his pension, she's also going to lose her Social Security. So you talk about
Not to
a
mention,
whammy.
it sounds like she's going to lose him too.
And him, right? So, I mean, 66% of the income in which they have coming through the door on a guaranteed basis is disappearing on the day he passes away.
But we do talk about with all of our clients, all these kind of things that could potentially happen. So they know that we're going to protect them in all these avenues, whether it be life insurance, whether it be homeowners, auto, whether it be your accounts. We will make sure at this end of the year checklist and when we first meet you, these are all the things that we will go over with you.
I mean, it's like we've been talking about for the past couple of weeks, just the power of prior planning.
One of the things we talked, or Kamala Harris's main word was holistic this past couple of weeks, right? Holistic.
Enjoy.
We take a holistic planning approach. I'm not throwing any brokers or friends or colleagues under the bus that work for some giant corporations out there that manage money, but they hide behind the fact that, number one, they don't give out tax advice. Number two, they don't give out Social Security advice, right? Those little disclosures on the bottom of their pieces of paper. We do those things every single solitary day. When you walk through our door, you get a holistic financial approach. It's not just, hey, I want to manage your money, or hey, I want to sell you an insurance product. It's how do all these things function together collectively within your plan?
Correct. We also, too, talking about this end of the year checklist, because I'm on the insurance side. I know we love to talk about all the financials on the other side, but I also make sure, too, that we go over, hey, do you have life insurance? Do you have enough life insurance? Do you want to decrease your life insurance? Are you at an age where we have to take a look at that? Also, too, do you have a will? We've been talking to a lot of people lately who really need to have a will, right, Randy? And because that is very helpful for all your finances to know where everything is. Also, too, again, like I always talk about how we have the car insurance, the homeowners, and umbrella policies. I always want to make sure on our end of the year checklist, I go over that with our clients. You know, do you still have the same cars? Are you still, you know, did you just have a 17-year-old that just came onto the policy and you added him, right? Do you have an umbrella policy now because that 17-year-old just came onto that policy? And also, too, just, you know, and I do an update on the car check, make sure your homeowners, make sure you have the correct coverages that you need to. It's very important out there, ladies and gentlemen. Check your coverages on all your insurance to make sure that you have the right coverage if you do ever have a major catastrophe.
We are an independent financial services firm helping individuals create retirement strategies using a variety of financial and insurance products to custom suit their needs and objectives. Investment advisor services offered through Artemis Wealth Advisors, a registered investment advisor. Exposure to ideas and financial vehicles discussed should not be considered investment advice or recommendation to buy or sell any financial vehicle. Past performance is not a guarantee of future results. Investments can fluctuate and when redeemed may be worth more or less than when originally invested. Artemis Wealth Advisors is not affiliated with nor endorsed by the Social Security Administration or any other government agency and does not provide legal or tax advice. Please consult with your attorney, accountant, and or tax advisor for advice concerning your particular circumstances. Annuity guarantees rely solely on the financial strength and claims paying ability of the issuing insurance company. By contacting us, you may be provided with information about insurance and annuity products offered through Randolph A. Fisher, insurance license number 9616074, and Liberty Financial Group, LLC, and Peggy Fisher, national license number 189-42003 and 570-5833.